All right, so it's top 10 podcast. For those of you with a keen eye, you'll notice that Nick's changed.
Hello,
Who are you?
I'm Nick 2.0.
Okay. So Nick probably had COVID again and couldn't do it, so we've subbed him in,
Hi.
or subbed her in.
Hi.
And we're going to rip through the top 10. Yeah, it was probably the hardest cull down ever. We were doing it just before. I think the previous few years, there's always been a fairly well-defined top 10. I've never known the winner or anything, but I've at least known what the top 10 would have been. But even just before, when we were doing the final cull down, we've got a member group online, and we pitched the top 50 in there, and we're like, hey, can everyone give us their top 10? And there was probably 50 comments. Every single one of them had a different combination of their top 10. So there's some that didn't make it that had such a following, which never happened in previous years. All the ones with these little cult followings and ones that I'd love to have seen made were all through to the top 10. Whether how are the last three that we just roosted out? You see under topics, don't read them out.
Oh, yeah.
But these had so many people frothing on them. So I think this year more than any other year we're going to be getting death threats. But the People's Choice Award is going to be... People's Choice Award essentially is one that doesn't necessarily even need to have made the top 10. It's in the top 50 that's had... Last year was Half-Life, which I think was in the top 10 anyway. But so many people were amped on it. And after it didn't win, we're like, all right, let's do a People's Choice design. So we're going to keep the top 50 listed online. So... Keep looking through those and slinging us your thoughts, because there will be probably towards the later end of the year we'll do the People's Choice, but then obviously we've got the winner and then the runners up, which is going to get plucked out of the top 10.
Yes.
Got any comments to make, India? Do you want to contribute at all?
Well, yeah, but I didn't know.
Didn't know what?
I could.
Could what?
Contribute.
What, talk?
Okay, well, I liked the top 10, but yeah, I did think there was probably more a top 12.
Well, yeah, there was a top 14 up until 5 minutes ago.
I really struggled just getting it down to 10.
I'm even looking at, well, when we were recording did you watch the last podcast?
Yep.
No, you didn't. Thanks for support.
I get a live stream constantly.
So you don't even know do you know the top 50 well?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I think what we'll do, we'll just read through them, and then I'm going to go through a few others that I think are front runners for People's Choice Award. But also, this year we're really trying to focus on not being swooned by the artwork.
Yeah.
Because there was that last one that we were like, look, this is so sick, but I think it's mainly the artwork.
Yeah, sort of figuring out what it's going to look like 3D, not just...
Well, not necessarily 3D. Oh, yeah, 3D.
Yeah, not instead of being swooned by the 2D drawing.
Yeah.
And actually thinking of it as an object.
Yep. Yeah, mate.
Which was definitely tricky when the artwork's so incredible.
Incredible.
Get him, girlfriend.
Go, Val. All right, so this is the top 10 of the 2022 design comp. So this is number 10. And should we number? Yeah. So you're definitely starting from the bottom.
Yep. Is it the one that we both liked?
Yeah. We'll scroll all the way to the bottom.
Yeah. Gotcha.
And then, all right. So this is the top 10. All right, Indo, fire off.
So design name: Snake in the Grass by Jessica Galhadro Diaz.
Yeah, this one was so sick.
Was
this your favorite?
Yeah, it is. I've got a second favourite as well, but they're quite similar as well. You probably know my second favourite before I even read it out. But I also loved her bio. I'm not an emotional person.
Fuck off.
But
what do you mean?
This one really got me.
Read it out.
So it's a 1920s Art Deco inspired piece with 3D sculptural details. Art Deco is my mum's favourite era, and she's my inspiration for everything I do. I just wanted to make something that she would love and be proud of.
And make her proud.
And make her proud.
Can't read through the tear-filled eye.
It's typical.
Yeah, this is really cool. Once again, year was like the year of the shank. Like there was so much emphasis put in like the entire piece and building down the shank of the ring, and which she's done real well. The only thing is she mentioned having 3D sculptural details. I'd also I'd like to even just see that as like a 2D standard image engraved. Like I don't know if you'd necessarily need to do that. Like I love the bold traditional tattoo style, that like bold blackwork style engraving, like the sort of the ones we did with like Body Ruiner and Neil Preston. I don't know if you'd need to go 3D sculptural, but
I reckon you could go almost like a little bit 3D, like the border could have some like razors and stuff in it. So like kind of getting 3D elements through that part of the ring.
Maybe that's what she meant.
But then just having like a flat engraved face, which is the way I viewed it.
Okay, yeah. I think that's
from
actually
the
what
photos.
she meant.
Yeah.
Just when she said sculptural, I thought she meant the snakes. Yeah, okay, yeah. I think that's what she meant.
Yeah, and so the face is like a plate with an engraving of the snake.
All right, so number 9, probably this is what we were saying last podcast, the one that had the most evangelists for it. So there was people that was going, yeah, I like this one, I like that one. But the people that liked this one were just like, mate, even if this doesn't win, you're making it. So this was by Ellie Zucker, The Collector. It's that sort of like catacombs style skull rings. Yeah, this one is so sick. We've got this other member group where we were designing a community design ring, and one of the pictures for one of the designs was like this catacomb style. Do you know what the catacombs are? Have you?
Yeah, I've been to the catacombs.
In Paris?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I really like this ring, and it's taken me by surprise looking at it again now, how much I like it.
Yeah, it's like the pendant is so sick as well. The signet shape's done really well, because it would have been so easy to slap that on an oval signet or a rectangle signet, but just having that further little touch of, I guess, I don't know.
It's just design detail. It's like attention to detail, which is really cool.
For sure.
And I also like that it's got like, because the design doesn't have like a necessary focal point, by having that shape, you've kind of created that focal point.
For sure.
Whereas like the skulls like all mixed in together don't give like that one structured focal point, which I that's why I like the design, because it takes you into the middle anyway and you actually view the whole design.
For sure. Say focal point again.
Focal point.
But yeah, I reckon
point?
this is sick. No, you said it right. You said it 12 times. Yeah, that's number 9. So sick.
Love.
All right, so number 8. Do you want to run it?
Yep. So we've got Aidan McLean with The Stargazer. Stunning. Yeah. I love this one. Do I read the details?
Yeah, if you want.
Okay. He said, I hope it's a he. I would always find myself just gazing up at the sky, admiring the night sky and thinking, I feel as though a lot of people can relate to that and can have their own meaning to do with this design too. Love it.
Yeah, this is sick. The different options as well. I think what works well with this is that you've always got to be thoughtful with the signet shape, and this isn't just slapping on a traditional round signet because it's, you know, it makes sense based off the design aesthetic. So the moon encases the signet face really well. And the little, I guess sort of could say like the cartoony style of her hair, like that's going to work really well with the engraving. It's not like highly shaded where it sort of needs us to do so much work to make that look sick. Like that would be like easily executed in the design, which I thought was sick.
It's that kind of like comic book style hair.
Yeah. I don't know. I was going to say comic book style, but I thought that sort of undersold it. But yeah, I don't know. It looks sick. And then the release date underneath as well. That's super Crooked Howlet as well. It's that super on brand to have that individualistic characteristic. I
also like that he's shown where he's putting the depth of the background. Like he shows the design and then he shows how like he wants the design to look.
I think that's one development that we've had with our designs over the last couple of years is building depth into the face. also because what happens, rings get so beat up that with like standard engravings, if they're getting flogged so much, it starts to like lose a bit of its, well, obviously it loses its detail, but when you've got so much depth in the face, like that thing could be run over and you're still going to have like a very good understanding of what the original shape was, you know?
Yeah. I really like this
Yeah,
one.
this is sick. So number 7 is Dion Ong with the wolf. This one, I think the thing that really got it across the line was I love like the moon cycle built around the face from full moon to crescent to half. I thought that was a sick little touch. The side detail worked really well. This is one of our signet shapes. So it's the more like sort of like modern round signets, which has heaps of tucked in shoulders, sort of like pronounced signet face. I think it would work really well. Obviously, the sculptural element on the top is sick. Yeah, I honestly really like the moons, that endless cycle. I think that works really well. You weren't the biggest fan of it, were you?
No, I wasn't, but
You don't need to be.
yeah.
Heaps of people froth on it, and I
Yeah.
thought it was skull detail was sick as well. I like the 3 skulls halved, and then that side flower detail. I think you could probably make that even sculptural, which I'm not sure if you intended, but
Yeah.
did you love it?
It's not my favorite.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's number 7. So number 6 is. Do you want to go it?
I love this one. Oscar with the origin.
Read his full name out.
I actually don't.
There's plenty of Oscars. Read the full name out.
Okay. Oscar Masality?
Starts with an M.
Yeah, Masality.
Okay.
Masality?
Don't look at me. I'm not an Oscar. Keep going.
Well, it's just really hard name to read for the first time. Design name Origins.
Nailed that though, didn't you?
Yeah. I just really like this one.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of like the past, and I reckon this is sick.
Yep. Yeah, I think what I liked as well is I thought I would usually have to convince a lot of our audience how sick that pattern and texture on that shell would work. Like that like a sculptural element of a shell on the face. It's the same as like snake scales or fur. Once you oxidize it and pull back the top layers, it like that stuff, that sort of patterns always look so sick, which I've seen with the koi fish and then the snake from last year. So it's good because so many people love this one. And then also, yeah, the meaning behind it, the people buy into the concept so much more than you would think from the outset.
Yeah. I love how old world it feels.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
also
cool.
has like a lot of that shell is actually like a principle for like a lot of design and maths and stuff.
Maths?
Yeah, there's something to do with like if you do it, it's like the perfect. I actually don't know.
What this specific shell?
Yeah, like this specific shell. Like when I studied interior design, we did like a unit on this shell.
What, really?
Yeah, and it's got like the properties, like it's why you style in like odd numbers almost.
Really?
Yes.
Why do you know it's specifically that shell?
Because well, it might not be this specific shell, but it's this style of shell that
Right.
like round. It's kind of like it's got really cool meaning behind it. I can't
Yeah.
articulate it properly at the moment, but
No, you know that.
I've always loved this shape because it's
Yeah, yeah,
just
it's
got that sort of, and it's a really like ancient sort of mathematical theory even.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the theory, but you bring it up a lot in design. It helps designers. It's like why you style stuff in threes. Kitchen cabinets are always done in odd numbers. It's sort of, I don't want to say the word focal point again, but I'm pretty sure it's got to do with that.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I reckon it's sick. I reckon you could get lost staring into the center of it. Look.
Yeah.
And then it's got Lucy's skull. She's everyone's common ancestor on the side. Detail on the inside as well. Like, always been thinking about the hallmarks, how they're going to pop. Yeah, I think it's sick. It's also a more of a modern round signet, which is kind of like Crooked Howlet circa 2018, which we've done a couple more of recently. So I like that. Yeah.
The crack I like as well.
Yeah, mate. So was that number 6?
I think so.
So number 5, Do you want to read it out?
No, I just read the last one. I'm happy to do the next
Okay,
one.
yeah. So this is Master of Fate by Rachel Wong. This was super sick artwork. I'd probably have said that this was slightly on the fence, but then there were so many people that were loving it that nudged it across the line. And I guess there's like a level of intrigue as well that I rocketed it through. Because there's also very rarely gemstones used, which the jewelers froth on, but this one's got a sick little, you'd probably do like a carnelian cab in the center there, which would actually look sick, like the size of it. Yeah, I reckon I like that little red center stone. And yeah, I don't know.
I also like that they've kind of played on your idea of that modern signet that we spoke about in the previous design.
Yeah.
And just sort of like made it their own, with the hands coming out of it, but it's still got that like step up to the face.
Yeah, well, it's like an entire sculptural piece rather than a signet with a feature.
Yeah.
So this one's kind of like, I could definitely see this not being everyone's cup of tea, like for starters. Like it is more of a bold, extravagant piece.
Yeah.
But for the features it has, it's super intriguing. I don't know. I want to see how people like this.
I'd also like to see it made. It'd look cool.
Yeah, it looks sick made. You'd sit it in the center or index. But yeah, that's number 5, Masters of Fate, Rachel Wongi going through.
Perfect.
All right, number 4. Do you want to read this one out?
Yeah, this is my second favourite.
Is it?
Yeah.
I love this one.
Joshua Williamson Evans. Love a double-barreled last name.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Endless Serpent. And he's just got a little small blurb on it. The cycle of life, death and rebirth. Keeping it simple, which I also really appreciate.
Well, that's Ouroboros. So that's the theory of Ouroboros.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
So which we've used before. It's like a real common motive. But I've never really in any of the briefs that we've done for the design comp really pushed uniqueness that much, because I don't think it's super necessary. It's about using, especially with jewelry as well, there's usually such a nostalgia to jewelry, so it's about using common motives and designing it well. So obviously this one isn't wildly unique, and not that it needs to be, but it's just the components it's used, it's just used very well. I like the side detail, and
love the side detail. It almost looks like repetition of the scales.
Yeah,
of the snake,
for sure. And I also love it when designs like this, dude, just spinning me out. Is that a fold in the paper that just so happens to land perfectly in the middle?
I think he's done that on purpose.
Really?
Well, otherwise it's very...
That's giving me a nosebleed.
Really?
Yeah, it's like spinning me out. I think maybe it's...
I think it's done on purpose. Like, that's pretty fucking rare if it wasn't.
No, because you can see he's rubbed out the back design. I love the fact that it's just like bog standard pencil and paper as well, because there's so many sick artworks done on like Photoshop or Procreate. But yeah, I like just back to basics.
I love it. I think it's a very cool ring.
I do.
Is just like, I love it.
You could even do that snake as a different metal as well.
Well, the sunken positive in his suggestion, which I really like, that like kind of throwback to the
What?
that waxy stuff. Is that what you use?
No, sunken positive is no, it's intaglio.
Oh.
Yeah, back off. All right, so that was number 5. 4, 3. Oh wait, no, that was number 4.
Yeah, that was 4.
All right, so number 3. This was one that was competing with itself with another very similar design, which is Rosie Gaunt, Creatures of the Night. So her other wolf design, she's always got a wolf she's been through the top 10, I think, last 2 years with a wolfie. But I think this is probably her most practical. The others were like, really sick, but I just don't know how well they could have worked in the design. But and this is that sort of cartoony style, that like old school, like fairy tale style of artwork, and the artwork's so sick.
Reminds me of Fantastic Mr. Fox.
It does, yeah. That's the style. How would you describe that style?
I love Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Do you? Why don't you tell the people about it?
Well, Fantastic Mr. Fox, his voice is George Clooney.
All right, thanks. So that's number 3. 1, 2, So that was the third. So we're down to that's the top. So we're down 2 left.
Uh-oh.
And by the way, this is no.
This is completely in order of our design.
No, it's not.
I'm joking. Imagine. My favourite was at the bottom.
Oh, yeah. All right. So the final 2.
Ooh. Okay. We have Matt Dossetta with Me Lucky Charms. I love this one.
Yeah, this one I think is also similar similar to the last one in the sense that it doesn't harness wildly unique concepts, but all of and that's what our our member group was saying. They were just going like, look, these are just every sort of design component here I buy into and I'm getting amongst it.
They're also very wearable.
Yeah. It's square signet as well. But I've coming into my first few designs, I never really didn't think people would froth on like the very rigid square designs as much as they do, but it's easily our biggest sellers.
Yeah.
Do you want to read out the further details?
Yep, I'll give it a go. After Australia's dismal summer, COVID lockdowns, fires and floods, I think we need a bit of luck. Amen, brother. Conceptualized and drawn while in isolation. When designing and researching how all these lucky charms came to be, I was amazed at the overlapping history from around the world. I was stoked with how they all connected and made me froth on a final design. I love the rabbit's foot inside the band being rubbed while the wearer rolls around with the ring on their digit. Hopefully the gem on the bottom works. Wouldn't mind if it was somewhere else on the ring too. Reenie Beanie is the font, and I think a side inscription could also look pretty sweet.
Reenie Beanie.
It's just
Yes.
I don't know why I find Reenie Beanie so funny.
It's funny you just send us the font.
I really back that.
Yeah, no, that's sick. I really like this. And I think, our member group was, so high in this one as well, which I always like because they're not being, I guess, not necessarily fooled, but like they're not just buying into like really well done artwork.
Like us.
Yeah, which is hard not to.
The members are keeping us grounded here.
True. There's an artwork here that I'm definitely going to get printed on a massive canvas and sent out to the artist because I just thought it was done so well and not in the top 10. But that's why this was so hard. All right, so the final one for the top 10 is... No, you're not reading it.
No, I know. I just really like this
tension.
one. Pardon?
It was tension I was building.
I was clapping.
All right, so the final one.
Woo.
I reckon it's such a solid top 10.
Same. Especially going through them again and really talking through them has like solidified them. Like I'm really stoked with the top 10.
Yeah, I think last year and the year before, it was such an obvious top 5. I was like, we had to fill the top 10. There was a huge division. I think every single one of these could be a winner. I want to see all of them made, and that the idea was to potentially make all of them so everyone could see leading into the final decision what would work best. But I don't know if we'll have time, but I nearly will try to do that.
I think it'd be sick.
Yeah, I know, but it takes so long.
No, I know.
Like last time, it took us probably like 3 months to get the last 2 designs perfect. But yeah, I don't know. I might.
Maybe you don't build them out as much as we sometimes do with the designs.
All right. Anyway, so this is the final one through to the top 10. It is Wabi Sabi.
I love this.
Crystal Ruby McLaren. Yeah. This was so sick. And once again, like had so much hype behind it, and it's sort of harnessing the old Half-Life vibe. De Jong inspiring a generation.
Absolutely.
And the artwork is, well, it sort of goes back on what we were saying. The artwork's sick, but the Great Wave, that Japanese artwork, has been used in several years, but not too well. And that's why I thought this one was probably the best of any sort of submission we've had with that Great Wave. Easily. Yeah, do you want to read out further details?
Okay.
Why do you look so rattled when I ask that?
Well, it's just really, it's quite...
It's your first language. Luckily, they've written it in English.
Yeah,
so
I know, but it's quite hard to just read, like I make mistakes and stuff.
Go on.
I noticed one day when I was walking along the beach that people were collecting shells, looking for that perfect shell intact. We are always searching for perfection. I started to see that on the beach were other things that were broken in half, had pieces missing, and were covered in barnacles. They weren't the shells. I turned my search to the irregular shaped coral pieces that had washed up. That they had holes that you could see all the way through. Beauty in the perfect imperfect.
The perfectly imperfect.
Whoops. It was okay to have holes. I have always been enthralled by the work of Van Gogh. In his paintings, he often painted in the background Japanese prints from the great Japanese printmakers that preceded him in 1831.
Just plow through full stops and commas. No regard for grammar. There was like 6 full stops in there.
You see what I mean? I'm not a good reader.
Go on, there's like a couple of sentences left.
Okay. The great wave of was created by, I don't know how to say that word. Was created by a 70-year-old man. Its powerful, iconic imagery evokes the very force of nature, the beauty of the imperfect, the impermanence, the incompleteness of nature, the Wabi Sabi of the fleeting moment.
Woo! Yeah, it was a good one to finish on, actually. I reckon the top. I'm going to compare that. I might do a little story next week about comparing the top 10s. I think the first year I knew the top 3, like coming into like literally the top 50. This year, first of all, that I'd probably say this every year, but easily the hardest to cull down to top 10. Like the ones that I said I was going to mention, that like Soul Searcher had heap by Dan de Cruyff, that had heaps of froth. Brie Carter with Mr. Corona, that could be running for People's Choice. The Cray Hunter.
I loved the Cray
Hunter.
Same.
It was just edged out by a member group. We had a long discussion about it. I honestly wish we could have done a top 11 because that one is so sick.
I also loved the Medusa one.
Yeah, it was easily the hardest to cull down. Like that took ages. There was probably only 5 out of the top 50 that I was like, I don't think I could see that being the top 10. Every other one, I was just like, yep.
Even looking through them now, I'm like, oh,
I know.
Like, I need to go back and realize why we didn't have them in the top 10.
Yeah, like Sasha McPherson with Essence, that was also done so well, and heaps of people loved that. So if you throw the top 50, is pretty much like
You're
the
in
most
the top 10.
solid top 50 ever. Was Alison Pearson's as well. I'll chuck little photos up of it.
Yeah.
Reserved for the King. That was so sick. Like I love the shank detail on that. But yeah, anyway, the People's Choice Award, we're going to keep like a list of the top 50 up. So keep feeding us your thoughts on all of them. And then we'll put up essentially like a vote for the People's Choice like we did last year. But that's the top 10. This podcast will be coming out Tuesday. We're going to do Monday, but it's a public holiday, so I want to do it on the Tuesday. And then we'll showcase the top 10 with heaps of detail over the following week, get everyone's feedback, and then announcing the winner on the 30th, last day of the month.
And end of financial year.
Hey?
Isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I was reading something. Yeah, June 30th. Thursday, June 30th, we're announcing it. Yeah, it is end of financial year. You get out for that,
What a way to see it out. You have one of those financial year calendars. Perfect.
All right, cool. That was the top 10. And, yeah, I'm amping for the final. What do you reckon will take it?
Well, I reckon it's going to be a tie.
Between your two favourites?
Yeah. So, well, I now have 3 favourites. So if it was up to me, I'd have them one in each category so I could see them all made. Ellie Zucker's The Catacomb, or The Collector, sorry.
Oh, yeah. Lucky Charms and...
Not Lucky Charms.
Oh.
And Snake in the Grass.
Mm.
And then the other snake one, Endless Serendipity.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So we're going to be showcasing them all this week. Keep your peepers aimed this way because we're going to need everyone's feedback. I got absolutely no idea what's going through. It's so good that we've expanded it out though now, so people know that the winners are getting made, the runner-ups getting made.
Oh, you couldn't pick one from these.
Yeah.
It's like actually impossible. Like to get 3 is nearly impossible, but at least you know, it's 3. Like I couldn't pick one. It'd be too difficult.
Yeah, for sure. And then we're still working on the Artist Network program, which is going to be the platform online where you're going to be able to upload your designs and customers can peruse through there and commission them directly from the designer. It's taken a while to build, so it'll be towards the later end of the year. But we've talked about it in every podcast, so we'll expand on it further later. But so for people asking like how to get this design done, that's what we want to have. Like just cool. Like essentially just like a little online ecosystem of designers, but it's not going to be like a marketplace. It's going to be very designer heavy. We're going to be vetting every design and talk a lot about the designer, and then you'll essentially scroll down and be able to commission it directly from them and chat back and forth. And yes,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. Well, we'll chat to you again on June 30th when we announce the winner.
End of financial year.
Say bye.
Bye. Thanks for having me.
That's okay. Or are you talking to them?
Yeah, the crowd, my fans.
And I'm like, yeah, this is who I am.